What's up, everybody? My name is Jizzy. You ever wonder about the music industry and the corporate greed, everything that goes on that everybody talks about? But yet their fathers are third in line at companies like AT&T and Mr. Red Shaw. You ever wonder about the fraudulence? Do you think that these frauds should be shown a lesson in humility? All for self-gain and profit. All the shills and grifters on YouTube. You wanna know who I am?
Check. Man, that's cranky.
My name is Chip Boy. They call me Jizzy. Some of my friends call me Smiley. Some of them call me Jit. I'm an actual signed artist on Atlantic Records for over 40 years. 40 years. And I write for some of the biggest celebrities on the planet. On the planet.
What's up, Michael?
I am real. I am also the one that exposes the truth. I'm the one that's gonna show you where the paperwork lies. I'm not gonna show you some phony letterhead that they're suing everybody when they're not suing people. All for clicks on YouTube. We need a YouTube purge. We need to get all the shills, the grifters, all the
What's up, Stevie?
liars and BS people. Rick
Wasting time's great.
made it in the music.
I gotta tell you though, the fucking weather here sucks. Check. I won't say it sucks. It's just, man, I was feeling better, and then I was clear. I picked up the Charvel today, which you can see there. So you had to pre-order these. I don't know what these are, but it's like a single, double, and it's got like a weird kind of Floyd on there. I don't know what this is, but it's different feeling. I'm gonna have to look these up. The strings need to be changed and the fretboard's dirty because I just got it. What else? So I went to grill my steak for dinner. I had the grill going. Weather had cleared up. Took the steaks out, went to walk outside, and I looked through the door, and it's raining. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I don't know what's causing all this rain, but it's definitely a little bit of a problem here. So what's up, everybody? What's going on? I seen Tennis Nut sent me a thing. Bud Cole was talking about how AI is going to make musicians better, and I agree. So again, I've been using an AI program called Grayson for probably 15 to 20 years, somewhere around there. I use it to give me ideas. Hey, Gigi, I don't use it to cheat. What I use is I use Spotify to see who's on top of the charts, and then I input some ideas into AI when I'm pressed. So it's really hard to write music when you got 2 hours and they want you to write a hit song in 2 hours. So, and I don't even know what's current in pop or country because I don't listen to it. So, hey, what's up, Jupe? So there's a big thing going on with that stuff, and I agree. Because, I mean, a lot of people complain about AI, but you can use it to your benefit. It's just like a computer. You can either let the computer dictate you or you can dictate the computer. And I see Jace Allen is shilling. He's got to be... Scar My Guitar and Jace Allen have to be the two hardest shills. I actually like Scar My Guitar. He's a funny character, but I don't like the shilling. You're not going to tell me... And here's the problem with all of this. there's a lot of people that are naive to the industry as far as gear. They don't know what a great guitar is. They don't know what a good guitar is, let alone how to play one. Um, and they're taking the word from people like this, and half those people can't even play. I'm not going to mention the channel's name. He wasn't shilling, but I'm subscribed to his channel. And he was actually, I think he was talking about me. He said that came up in his feed and said that he supposedly has played with a bunch of people and he's a pretty good guitar player. That was his exact word. He's a pretty good player. And which, I said, well, damn, he must be really fucking good. So I went on there, and I'm not gonna bag on him, but because I heard him talking about how he gigged and stuff in the old days, and he had a room full of cool guitars, and he must have saw some of the guitars, and it caught his eye. Yeah, I saw drag racing. Yeah, I saw the email. Yeah, you sent the link and it went to the link. I'll go on. So it's really different, bro. So if you haven't checked it out, this is what is really cool. Hey, what's up, Diamond? So Weird Eggman, he's got this drag racing video, and there's a bunch of songs, so you can actually buy the songs. What do I, you know, what do I appreciate about it? It's not my cup of tea, but I have to say at the same time I love it. Why? Because it's so different than what I'm used to hearing. It intrigued me. There's a lot of guys that can play like Ingve. There's a lot of guys that can play like Eric Johnson, but we already have those guys. And I got to give him credit. He doesn't sound like anybody. His music is completely different. Same with Mechanic Jams. His stuff with the tracks that he's doing with the kind of like 70s vibe, the Christopher Cross and some of it's really good. It's a fresher breath air for someone like me. You didn't get anything? So, so kudos to you, bro. Hey, Steven, how long did it take you to learn Wasted Time? Is it all just wasted time? When you laugh. Man, that's a great song. Um, that's a tough one, bro, because I see what it was going for. Yeah, Mechanics is cool too. I it's not my forte, that kind of music. Like, I'm not an expert in that field, but um I kind of get that um uh what's that band? Go in the distance. Dun, dun. It kind of reminds me of that, but even it has traces of 80s and some 90s in there. The breakdown was about an hour. Yeah, it's really cool because it's different. It really is. And it's again, to be different is hard. It really is. Because we're influenced by so much, and at the same time, you know, and yeah, it could. Yeah, he's got a little bit of back in him too. It's kind of like back in some of that. It's really cool. It was a winger, Miss Winger. It's just really cool. Not much more I can say about it. It's kind of like, a lot of like you guys, a lot of people like this thing. What that actually is one of my videos. That's me talking in my video. That's my voice. Stranger Things, I don't know. I did like Stranger Things. Cake, yeah. It reminds me of kind of like Cake, but like a little more like Sade-ish in certain parts. It's cool. It's really different, and that's you know. Now, would I say that's marketable? I don't know. I'm sure there's a market for everything. I don't, you know, could it get on the radio? Sure, it could get on alternative stations and everything. I know, but is it going to be on Spotify like as a top 10? I don't know. You know what I mean? Cuz anything can happen. You know what I mean? Music can flip at the dime of a hat. You know, one day you're a hit and one day you're not. Yeah, I didn't I went by and I was going to go back and I forgot. I got tied up. So what happened is I picked up the Charvel and I ended up going to Target to pick up a few things, and I left the Charvel in the car because it looked like it was going to rain, and thank God it did. Yeah, Undone's really good too. Yeah, I think that could be a single. Yeah, it's really good. You know, it's not the norm. You know, so like when I start writing like for like the celebrity kind of people, like the Beyonces or whatever, those kind of people, they're looking for certain specific things, and to get paid and be good at what you do, you have to be on top of the game. And I don't follow rap. Like, I listen to it, but I don't know who like the number one guy is right now. If it's 6ix9ine, I don't know. Is it the Island Boys? I don't know. I know names. I don't know who's like the number one pop hit right now. I know Karen. What's her name? The Carpenter girl was pretty hot when I was doing some songs. You know, and that's where AI can help you actually produce an album and get it out quicker. So to get the songs out quick when things are hitting, you can't wait for a producer to mix down a record for 6 months because then it's outdated. Yeah, the Skid Row songs are. Oh, the thing about Skid Row is they don't do anything hard. You know what I mean? They're just good songs. But yeah, so some of these guys, hey, what's up, Cool Breeze, Tony? So the thing with the shilling that really bothers me is, um, they're not honest about just saying, listen, I'm an affiliate. I get money. I get paid to do this. Yeah, I love Skid Row too. The I liked all their albums. I even like Subhuman Race. Be yourself, blind. Man, when I heard that vocal, "Beat Yourself Blind," I said, this fucking guy ain't gonna be able to pull that off live. He's screaming on the top of his fucking lungs. He's gonna blow his voice out. Again, Sebastian was a really good vocalist. I mean, he's still pretty decent compared to a lot of the people today. And, of course, there was a lot of production on the albums, with punch ins and I remember you, overlapping and stuff. So it's really hard to get that sound live. It's just tough. It's kind of like the Queensryche, with the what was the first song with the scream off their debut thing? Take Hold of the Flame. Is that it? With the screaming octaves where it keeps going, overlaying. David Lee Roth's just fucking done, dude. He, um, what's really going on? Let me just say it this way, in a nice way. He has some medical issues, and Some of them could be severe. That's all I can actually say. You know, David had a great career. He's one of the most iconic frontmen of our time. He wasn't the greatest singer, but every time he sang, you knew who the fuck he was. It's kind of, he was an incredible singer. Without him, Van Halen would have, he was just as important to the band as Eddie Van Halen because it was a great collaboration. It's like Bon Jovi. He can't write no more hits without Richie Sambora. It's just a fucking fact. And when those bands do stuff like that, and there's guys that bow out gracefully, like we were talking the other night, like Steve. It's kind of more than pills. I he's on certain medications as well. Yeah, it's right here. So it's got two singles and a humbucker with a maple neck, and it sounds heavy. Now the strings are dead. The strings are black. You can see the fretboard needs to be clean. Let me see. You can see the fretboard's even dirty. I just got it, and then it was raining, so I left it in the car. Yeah, I mean, Dave, between you have to give David Lee Roth his credit. I know a lot of people don't want to say he was the greatest singer. He wasn't, but he was a unique singer. This so there are the leaders and the followers, and this was what I was talking about with Eggman. When you're very different, you're taking a big risk and a chance because you're not following the mainstream. And Eddie actually pushed back on Ted Templeman and some of the others, like I'll Wait and Jump. There were a lot of people that were pushing against Eddie, and Eddie knew what he wanted, and he knew what would be hits. Even Dave kind of rode a little bit and was against the jump thing, and then as Eddie progressed with it, Dave actually liked the song. Yeah, Van Halen was Van Halen. I mean, for me, eh, iconic bands where here's the thing. I loved the vocals. I loved Michael Anthony's background. I loved the way he played bass. I loved the riffs. I loved the sound. I loved everything about it. And it's the same like Zeppelin. Jimmy Page was sloppy. I loved his riffs. I loved the way he played solos. I loved the sound. I loved the drums. I'm friends with Jason Bonham. I asked Jason one day, I go, dude, let me ask you something about your dad. And he's, what man? What man? I go, did he really hit as hard as people said? Like, did he hit hard? He said, no, mom. He goes, when you hit a drum, he goes, it resonates. He said, when you hit it really hard, it shoots out. He said, there's a certain hardness. He says, it's like hitting guitar strings. You don't want to hit it so hard that it vibrates out of tune. Drums are tuned. There's a certain percussive sound, and there's a certain way you hit it. He said, my dad knew how to do that, which was really, really good. Yeah, it's just good chemistry. There are a few bands in the world. I mean, I loved a lot of bands. Don't get me wrong. The Frank Marinos, the April Wines, but there are iconic bands that started stuff. Sabbath with Ozzy led into metal. There were like the Sex Pistols and the Ramones that led into the punk, and there were bands before that, but they took it to the next level. Van Halen took rock to the next level. Zeppelin took rock to the next level. I loved Zeppelin because of the way they grooved. I love Van Halen the way that they grooved. And that's what I actually loved about Rat. They had a groove to them. They had that. And there's some bands that had that. You know what I mean? There's like some bands like Firehouse had some great songs. Shaka Messiah had some great songs. But when you look overall at these bands, and then you look at how many fucking good songs on one record, record after record after record after record, that's just fucking amazing. That's what separates them from even me, actually. You know what I mean? I've written a lot of number ones, but I I'm not at that level where I could write album after album with one genre of a rock band and have it carry on. Because even with the expose stuff, we had other writers too, but it also went into the first album was probably the biggest, and then it fizzled out. Yeah, I love Merciful Fate, man. King Diamond, Merciful Fate. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of like, if you think about it, bass and guitar are percussive too, because I mean you're just rolling up a volume, but if you're doing this, that's almost like beating on a drum. So then you add it. It's percussive, and then when you add that percussive technique, see, a lot of people don't think of it like this. You take that percussive technique like that, and then you find a riff. Let's see. And that's what creates hooks, and they did it even far beyond. I mean, even the stuff that Eddie came up with, like the Mean Street stuff, and the trick to that is you have to keep this muted here, so you don't. It's always constantly muted. And this, you're hitting two strings. You're hitting it flat. So this is. Now I got too much gain to do that. And then you look at the. And then you start looking at all that stuff together and you're like, holy shit. And then after that intro, what's he got? He's got the hook of the song. I mean, that's phenomenal stuff, and then it's album after album after album after album, So and Eddie doesn't get enough credit for his rhythms. In my opinion, he would. Everyone talks about the sound and the tapping, but I think Eddie's biggest attributes was his rhythm and how he was percussive with these hooks, and a producer. His mixing was unbelievable. Yes, I talk about that a lot. Your left hand is important, So like if like I so like even when I teach on here and I say, listen, you gotta get your picking, but at the same time you don't want to go. You gotta get this hand. You gotta have both working. Yeah, you gotta have them both working. My hand actually hurts today. I don't know why. Getting old. The same thing with, Eddie was just a genius in what he did. And the other part of that is he could hear sound. And like when I got to sit with him for a week and I watched him mix, and I got to sit with Prince for a week. The labels asked me if I could sit with him and watch him mix. And I've said this before. Eddie Van Halen was just as much of a genius as Prince on a mixing board. Out of all the, I've seen a lot of famous producers. I've watched a lot of people mix songs. I've never seen it done the way Eddie and Prince have done it. And this is where I feel that Alex and the Steve Lukather thing is going to fail. Because without Eddie mixing it to what he heard, it's never going to sound like Van Halen. That's just my opinion. If I were them, I would have just released the tracks the way they were and let people hear. Like kind of like I have my clips on here. Just let the clips go out and let people enjoy it for what it is. You know what I mean? Don't try to finish Eddie's song. You're not Eddie, and it's not going to ever sound like Eddie. And you're not mixing it the way Eddie would do it either. And I'll say this before Eddie's house, inside his actual house, it wasn't messy. It was very outdated. He lived for music. He was in his studio 24/7. He lived in there. It smelled like a fucking. It smelled like a fucking. One of the most dirtiest, disgusting strip bars, alleys. It smelled like piss and cigarette smoke. But, so like he had a bathroom over there. He would just piss on the floor sometimes. And then he'd put a cigarette in it. Then he'd pull a clear thing over and do a line. That was Eddie. He didn't care. He lived for music. That what I saw him mixing and when I got to hang out with him, it wasn't so much the playing. Like after because he influenced me a lot. But after getting to sit with him and talk with him, I realized it wasn't his guitar playing that infatuated me. It was him and his thought process as a person. Oh, you guys kind of remind me of a Sabbath in that kind of manner. The Blabo, it's different like that. I could see it. I could see it changing music. I really do. You just got to come up with like a crazy look like that Angeline thing or whatever. Now you know how to run your home studio. And I've met a lot of great producers. Michael Wagner, all of them. But they, I don't know if Eddie ever said, but on 1984, I think it was 1984, he was going in the studio and remixing everything. Crazy as you go. Well, I see this girl band too, and they're all dressed like these like sexy nuns with white faces. I don't know the name of them, but they got like these slits up, and they do all these weird faces. They look devilish, but the idea of it's intriguing. Yeah, yeah, it's the process, and that's so you know, and I met Eddie at GIT. And what happened was getting to sit with him and then after with the labels and stuff and then they asked if I could go in there too. You know, I never asked Eddie, "Hey man, when you were playing, did you go?" My thought was like, "Dude, why are you pushing all the mid lows up like that? That's awful." You'll see. Wait. Eddie would have this grin and he'd wink at you. Wait, you'll see. Leopard print pants? Yeah, me too. I got them right here. What's that? You think I changed the way you're about to approach the me? Well, good for you, because I. This is why I do the show. Here, let me get the leopard print. Let's see. Let me take these off. Let me put them inside out. I think these are leopard print. Let me see. I got a bunch of 80s clothes in here because when I was doing the Velvet Hammer thing, I got scarves, leopard print scarves, and all kinds of stuff. Unworn. But I have tons of that stuff still. I got the old scarves and stuff. Let's see. Here, let me show you my shoes that I used to wear. I have them in here. Ugh. You'll never see these. These are Converse. Blinged out Converse. I have people that made clothes for me and did stuff like that. Yeah, it was a weird part of his process. And then, you know what I watched him do too? He would. Some producers would like compress stuff like really hard at one time, but he said that that was a wrong way to do it. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'll compress it like 3 or 4 times. Hey, what's up, RF? He's like, I'll compress it 3 or 4 times, but he goes, I'll use a low compression. I don't compress it hard at first. And I go, well, what does that do? He goes, it compresses it and makes it smooth, but then it's like refining it, and you do it a couple times. He goes, it's like filtering it. He had a weird Uncle Teabag with the good nose Converse. he'd have to sell another Holy Grail. That's all Swarovski crystals on those. Those were a lot of money. I had a bunch of like stage jackets that I sold. I kept a couple, but I sold a lot of stuff. What else is in here? Oh, I got another pair of leopard pants. Shit owns a candy store. These are my other ones. Now these I've worn. These are cool because they fade. They got like this kind of swirl stuff in them. I got a vintage. Yeah, if you guys go back and you watch the video where I broke that Patak fillet, where I was making fun of tea bags. If you look at my closet, there's a section of the 80s clothes. I show it. Yeah, you can compress different. Yeah, that's what he was saying. You can compress it at like different intervals, and you can get like a really. And what he said is you can either make it real smooth or you can make it a little more edgy. He had a weird mind to me. You want to do defend Fender on your channel? That's a good idea, Michael. So the Jace Allen guy, I had made some comments to him. I go, how anti-American are you, bro? I go, I got nothing against, I said, but you should be honest about it. He's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no. I said, listen, Harley Benton's are garbage. You got to stop ripping the American people off. You gotta, you can't, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to be ripped off. I understand that. Like I said, you can get one of these for $500. You can get one of these for $400. You can get one of these for $3,000. You can get one of these for $16,000. I mean, there's a price on everything. It just depends on what your budget is. But dude, I bag on John Cordy. Yeah, I have some PRSs. Jonathan Nathan Corda. I said to him, because he does 3 or 4 videos a day. I go, bro, every fucking video you got to mention Fender. Every fucking video. Now I'm gonna hear him talking about fucking Eric Johnson for the next 2 months. It's like, dude. Oh yeah. Are you monetized, Tortured? I don't know. If you're not monetized, don't worry about it. They only give you copyright claims if you're monetized, so the money can get to them. The draft reinstatement order. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I get a couple PRSs. What you call it? The NF53 telly. I put that away. I also have a custom 24, but it's not a reserve. It's um the CE. I got a McCarty too. You know where they do those hand serials on the back. Yeah, again, like, and then these shillers are gonna throw Fender under the bus because the guitar you don't have to. What did Jace Allen say? The guitar you don't have to boycott. A Strat you don't have to boycott. Why am I going to boycott any fucking guitar? Business is their problem. Do I give a shit what the record label's doing behind the scenes with their lawyers? No. That's none of my business. Just like Fender's none of my business. They continue to make great guitars, I'll continue to buy them. It's just how it is. The same with PRS. PRS, Paul Reed is tied up in the politics in his state where they're making the guitars and he's giving governors fucking guitars and this and that. And he's one of the guys who thinks that his guitar should be outselling Fender and blah, blah, blah. And he has a kind of a God complex issue. But you know what? None of that matters to me, really. You know what I mean? I'll still buy a PRS. I'm going to buy what I like. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. That's like saying, you shouldn't eat that pizza, man. You should boycott that pizza place. They're buying dough from, fuck off. What's up, William? I mean, it's up to each one of you guys to decide what you want to do. I just wish that the shilling, because it's a mass thing, the Guitar Maxes, the Scar My Guitar, the Jace Allens. And the reason why that they don't get high-end guitars is because they're nobodies. And really, Gibson doesn't give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? Fender don't give a fuck about them. They sell enough guitars. They got guys like Eric Clapton and this guy and that guy. They don't give a shit about some fucking shill on YouTube. Oh, the Purple Nightmare? Dude, I've been looking at those. Here, this is the green one, like Joe's. You okay? Oh, he's in his closet. Don't knock my guitars off the wall, boy. Yeah. So this is the green one. I told Joe they're unbelievable, And I got that Schecter Telly. Schecter's a great guitar. That's the old Jackson people making them, and I've never had a bad one, And like I've heard some people like say I've had a bad Charvel. What do you mean you didn't you play it before you fucking bought it? It's kind of like Rick Beato. My Fender was in wasn't working order. Well, why'd you fucking buy it? There's other Fenders you could have bought. You know what I mean? That's all just bullshit lies for clicks and talking points. And it just is what it is. Oh no, he brings some vintage guitars out there too, but he does have a lot of his signature models out there. Cause Kenny, his old guitar tech was a friend of me and Patrick, and Ingve threw the guitar up and Kenny couldn't see it in the light, and it hit the stage and all kinds of pieces. He got fired after that. He's like, I couldn't see. Threw it into the fucking lights. Yeah, Schecter's come a long way. It's kind of like Blackstar. The guys from Marshall left and started Blackstar. Now Blackstar sold. But like if if you if you buy a Fender and you don't like it, why didn't you take it back, Beato? Why, stuff like that makes no sense to me. Like, have I ever taken a guitar back? Yeah. Was it because I didn't like it? No, because it had like a mechanical issue that I thought should have, like PRS. I've had a lot of quality control issues with PRS. I've had pickups not work, the pickup selectors not work, and I'll bring them back and get another one. Yeah, and you can build a guitar. They got kits and everything. It's funny? I bet. I bet 90% of this audience could get a fucking guitar kit. Put a guitar together and it would play better and sound better than Harley Benton. I almost guarantee that. Did I go to college? Yes. I have 2 degrees in music. One's not a real degree because it's from GIT. It's a certificate of completion. And then the other is University of Miami. I also have completed courses from a place called McFadder. I did a lot of schooling. A lot of unnecessary. I can't say it's unnecessary because it helped me get, my dad was really smart, you know, and he's the one that gives me advice on certain things like, if you want to get wealthy, you got to hang out where all the wealthy people are trading stocks and listen to them. You go to that bar and you find out where they hang out. You want to go get on a record, you find out where the record label people hang out at, like Sony and Atlantic. You go find the bars they hang out and they all have a beer after work. You got to go find that. Oh, you did an Explorer copy? Nice. I love Explorers. I get a Lizzie Hale. I put that away, and I have Matthias's Job Explorer from one of his tours. I traded him a guitar. You build custom Strats, yeah. Now my touring guitar that's up there is actually I think it's a 76 or 73 Strat that was fiberglassed, rerouted, and it's got a Jackson prototype neck. Yeah, and it's the same like everything. Like I can show you all the cool licks, and you can be different, and you can do all the crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Like stuff that may. And the reason why I do those is to give you guys ideas to be creative. Can you say they're outdated? Kind of, because I was playing this stuff in the '80s. That kind of stuff is from the '80s, so it is outdated. But you can take a lick of, say, Eric Johnson playing Six Pack. Instead of doing it exactly like him, play that 6 up. Reverse the lick. And then do it all the way up on the scale. And what it is it's my perception of doing things differently and how I came up with my licks. It's not the lick that I want you to learn. It's the thought process behind how I develop some of these licks. Oh, electronics and computer engineering? Nice. Uranus. The Red Shell song. Oh my god. The next Blobo album is less pop and a bit longer. There goes my nose running again. Just started. Gigi, I know you're beginning, but like, are you learning covers or are you? I wish you would film yourself and do your music journey. Like, are you learning covers, and then, or are you just trying to come up with stuff on your own? Oh, you sent it. Oh, the music and gear Avery. You know, I tried to help him with his sound once, and he does sound better. But he's a character. I dislike him. You know, I mean, not everything he says is correct, but I think he's a great guy. I really do. No, the PVs are the best Wolfgangs. Now that's not actually a Wolfgang, but it was redone like a Wolfgang. This is actually a PV HP2. It's new old stock. So this was supposedly wood Eddie picked out, and then when the contractor or whatever Eddie left, they didn't know what to do with it because that was for the custom shops. So PV held on to it. But these are handmade in the Czech Republic, and they only made 400 of each color. And I think there's like two or three colors. This guitar is fucking amazing. The PV, even the PV specials. The only PV that even the PV EXP, which was the Korean one, which was the shitty one, is actually decent. But don't get fooled because you have to have the patent pending, not just the number, but the patent pending on there, because that was how you know if you're getting, so a PV special says patent pending and it's lasered on, not like printed. But these guitars, so I went to buy another one because I know where there's another one. It's this weird gray marble, and I love the color, but I didn't love the neck because it's not. It was a baked maple, and the neck was dark on there when I picked it up, and I was like, it's a little with the gray body and the dark neck, kind of. What I'm missing? Oh, you're learning covers. I demonstrated it in college that I have the ability to learn something. Nice. You think I should acoustic folk retention as well as rock version of retro Uranus? I think you should do that in the vein of his style of the bands he's been playing, like that Noah Guthrie and that latest band. Your purple EVH, yeah. And the EVH stuff is good. Like the EVH company that Fender owns, like I had that purple guitar that I traded Joe Wenz. I know he loved purple, and I love the guitar, but I really like the blue Charvel. Yeah, and like I said, simpler is better. If you're writing music, simple is the way to go. Like the AC/DCs. Again, if you're taking just, even if you take like an A minor, and then you play. You're creating chords off of your scale notes. So you're going all the way up doing that. I would recommend everybody to take a basic scale like a pentatonic. Play all kinds of chords off those notes. It's going to sound weird, but that's when you start hearing things. And this was a great thing that I was talking to Steven about. Once you start doing things like the way we were supposed to meant to learn, you'll hear stuff that you never heard before, and after a while you'll understand because now you start to hear it. You know, like playing C major and D major with G major. So when you take this note, which is your C, and you play C major, now you get an F in there. And how does that work out? Well, that all leads to a common scale in those keys, and it's an A minor. So when you're playing A minor scale on an F, a G, and a A, you can also use it on a C and a D. And it's a weird thing. Yeah, you can take just scales, you know, like the scale. Stupid shit like that. And I'd write a hit song out of that on keyboard. You know, I might put like a clean guitar, but it's so stupid and easy taking one scale, and it's the old Eric Clapton method. That whole idea of one scale with one chord, and then you go, well, why do I gotta play one chord? There's an A. But can't I move it to? Oh yeah. There's a triad. And then you start looking at all the notes. And then you start linking it all together. So it's crazy how that works out like that, because a lot of people don't think that way. Let's talk cars. The Jaguar, Mechanic Garage, Jaguars. I never owned a Jaguar. I was always told the electronics on them sucked. So you know, when you start looking at this, and then you start taking the notes out of the scale, and then you start altering them. But you play them more like, instead of playing it as a scale, then you add your B in there. And then you create licks out of that. Then you start looking into triads. And then you start looking at percussive things. You know, and then moving notes around. And then it becomes, you know, crazy. Buick Skylark with bulbless tires. Yeah, triads are great for harmony, because the thing about a triad is you can extend the triad. So like if you start looking at like a G major, well, there's one triad. But if you look at the actual scale, And then you take that triad out of there. Now, you see how I extended that? Then you can start adding notes, like how you do scales. You can actually, the patterns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start doing patterns inside the arpeggios. My pick attack. Okay, and so like when I start looking at, instead of moving it up, I like to play inside of it, So like you guys see me do this a lot. So that's the E minor arpeggio. So you can play parts of the arpeggio, like you can count. So no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can start putting these patterns in there. So you're not sounding like English, like, you know what I mean? So there's different ways to make arpeggio sound not scalular, but more melodic. Yeah, and you can use so that's a great point, because like what I was saying before is if you're playing in G major, you can take that same scale, like the pentatonic, A minor pentatonic, so your three positions are A, B, and E. So here you have D. Then you have C sharp. Now C sharp and D, you're like, how did that fit in? Because it just works, especially when you're playing rock and power chords, and that's how you get into variations. So a lot of people don't understand, like when you're doing like a flat 7, a flat 5, these are actually in the scales that are actually, if you move the scale into different positions. So if I take this G major and I move it to C major, so and then you start flatting those notes, and you figure out, well, wait a second. Well, now D major. C sharp. There's my C sharp, which is the 7th degree. So I'm playing off a diminished tone out of the D major. But remember I said the 7th can be half diminished, half minor? There you go. Yeah, so like what I just did is I take that major scale and I moved it to the other major tones in that scale, and it creates new notes that I don't have to sharp or flat. They're just there automatically. And this is what the Beatos and most people don't understand, is because if you're moving the A minor pentatonic to E minor, why wouldn't you do the same thing with your scale? So like if you're taking a B minor arpeggio, and you're playing it like in the E position here, which is the B, it's the same arpeggio. So if I'm doing that and I'm playing the pentatonic the same, why wouldn't I do that with my major or my diminished? And then here's my C sharp again. It's part of my F sharp. half major, half minor. So see the tie-in between that and the D major? That's my 7th degree tied in with the G major 7th degree. That's fucking mind-blowing, isn't it? So I combined two different diminished scales. We won't go. We won't talk about much more theory than that because people get confused. But I know a lot of people like looking at that stuff and go, "Holy shit! How did he figure it?" So I wasn't taught this. I was taught pattern and position by Holsworth, but the moving of the scales and knowing where the flats. The only thing that um, I said one time is a C flat, because when you're looking at scales in motion, whether you're going down or up, parallel, contrary, I I called the B note a C flat, and technically it is. It's the same thing. It's the same as a G sharp, which can be an A flat. So when Tom made fun of me, he was actually wrong because he doesn't know better. Not to hound on Tom. But I figured a lot of this out on my own after Holsworth explained that the C flat thing to me. He said when you're playing certain notes and certain scales, you have to look at it like I just did with the 7 and the 7. Two of the same scales but in different positions equal the same. And that's how you start tying everything together. And that will give you a huge advantage. So like when you start doing the metal stuff and I start going and I play a D major, well, that sounds okay. Well, what if I play the C sharp? And I play a pentatonic. Winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But that's how you get to see a lot of that stuff and tie it together. No, I mean, I can learn other techniques. Like I could learn Tim Henson. I could go back into playing more like Holsworth in the jazz fusion. I don't get much time playing that or the classical stuff. I really don't play that much anymore, but I borrow certain of the techniques and I incorporate what I like. So, again, I'm distorted, but like if I'm playing stuff like where I can go that kind of stuff, that's from classical guitar, but it tends to tie in when I'm writing. So I might go, whatever it is. Of course, it doesn't sound great distorted, but I might borrow a certain technique from something. But as far as I don't think there's much more for me to learn about theory. It's like, I was doing 100-piece orchestrations. I learned to conduct orchestras. I mean, it gets to a point where like it's you kind of have to focus on. There's so much in music, like you can't. There's hip hop, there's jazz, there's rock, there's country rock, rock, there's rap country. There's so many different genres and different sounds in music. You 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 can't get lost in it. You have to. It's kind of like you can't be a judge, a cop, a doctor. You have to focus and choose a path. And on that path, you have to find the most efficient path to get to your goal. And you have to look at goals. You have to set goals. If you're just going to play in a cover band, set your goals based on that. If you want to do it and play professionally, set your goals on that. But you should set goals and paths according to your plan. I'm telling Stevie. Yeah, yeah, you gotta, and that's where I use the AI, because sometimes, really a shred guitar player from the 80s who happened to get into different music. I played classical piano at one point, so it was, can I play classical piano? I'm not like I used to, but can I play stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody? Yeah. But there's, but do I go back to the piano and focus on that? No. I use it as a tool now. Yeah, so like, and I was telling Stevie this today. So like when I look at the scale, the G major scale, and I take this scale this way and then put it this way, I look at my 145s off of the major to get my major, and I look at the 145 F off of the minor to get that, and then the half step down from the root is my half minor, half diminished. So when I look at that, and then I see chord tones in there like the F sharp, I'm like, a flat five. Well, it's not really a flat five. It's the seventh degree of your D major, which is your half diminished, half minor also. And then when you go back to this original key, that's the 5 to the 1 of a diminished minor and another diminished minor of another major scale. It becomes, it's almost like a puzzle. You not only do you learn how to put the puzzle together and find the pieces, but you learn why they put the pieces the way they did to create that puzzle. Does that make sense? So it's one of those things that you can look at and decide what story you're going to tell by how you cut the pieces, or how that you want the pieces to fall in line to put the puzzle together. Everything is like a story. It's again, I look at a song. Let's say Beyonce's "People Call Me." We want a song. She's not happy with this. We want it like this. Okay. And I listen to it and I go, I don't like that because that's outdated. So I'll send them three different versions. And then that way they can pick and decide which one's going to fail or which one will be successful. I take me out of the equation of, I offer three choices and I leave it because I don't want the producer to come back to me and go, listen, man, I that wasn't a hit. Well, that's not my problem because you didn't listen to me. And I don't want to get caught in an argument situation over what I wrote versus what she wants and what is hitting today, where I give you three different versions. One that would be popular today, which is the hit. And then I'll give you this one and this one that you wanted and one in the middle. You can decide, and you can decide your own destiny by the out of the three which one that you want to pick. And I take myself out of that equation when I write. I learned to do that a long time ago. That was something else that I did. Because when you start not writing hits, because they're not picking the hits that you think are going to be hits, it's kind of going back to the whole Eddie Van Halen thing. Eddie knew what he wanted, and he pushed back on Ted Templeman. And he said, I think that's garbage. It's not going to work. I'll wait, it's not going to work. Jump ain't going to work. And those were two of their biggest songs. I mean, Eddie knew. What's up, Mr. Night Owl? Does Gigi drive? She got a Vector. Most people don't even know what kind of car that is. That's funny. Let me see. Oh, you're late? Oh, no worries, bro. It's always a party. Anytime. You're never late to a party if the party's still going on, right? kids doing? Yeah, I gave a big kind of lesson on how all the scales from the different positions tied in. It's pretty. I think it's pretty good. You'll have to go back and watch and decide for yourself if it's for you. Again, it may not be for you. Like everybody will judge you for how you play. Oh, he's a shred guitar player. I don't like it. He's no good. No, that's not true. Because you can take stuff from the shred and incorporate it as a tool into your playing, into country, into classical. There's all kinds of different ways. Yeah, I got a Charvel. You were waiting for this, right, Scott? So it's a single, single, double, but it's got like a different kind of Floyd to me. I don't know this. I don't know what one this is. I gotta clean it up and put some new strings. So like if you're playing blues, you have the modern blues or you have the old school. You have that kind of blues, or you have more modern with a little more speed, or you have the old blues. It's whatever the story that you want to tell. But if you're doing this all the time, that could get a little boring after 5 songs. So if you have a little more tools, you have, yeah, I'm going to take this out on the Sabbath thing because it's black and maybe that black, I don't know what else I'm going to take. I'm going all black. I got the black Starfoot pedal coming, the amp 3. You've had your 5-year grandson since you got back from Florida? Nice. So look at this. Now that sounds kind of cool, right? Now I just did that out of not even thinking. But now that I think about what I did, that went to the... That's my E and my F sharp to my C. But then I went up chromatic. There's my flat 5, which is the 7th degree of the D. But what's this note? That's my F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, you start to do stupid shit just because you can hear it without even thinking. So you can create cool licks, but so what happens is, like I was telling Steven before, the more you start hearing these notes, it becomes a part of your regular playing without even thinking of it. Yeah, I like that Charvel a lot. It plays different. Now I tried to find a lot of information, and the only thing that popped up was a pre-ordered thing. I'm sure you don't have to pre-order these. The other Charvel I just saw when I went to pick this up, they had that 7-string. It's a signature model. I forget the guy's name. It's beautiful, but I was like, man, I'm not going back to 7 strings. I've played 7 strings. I used to have a Schecter 7-string. I had a Schecter V Carina 7-string, and I had like a black Strat. What's up, John? Tony Iommi? I should go on this live stream. Hey, Tony, you want to come and play with me and Dave Spitz? He'd be like, who the fuck are you? Oh, man. Oh, the St. Augustine parking lot massacre. Oh, I gotta. Oh, did you send that to me? Is that what you sent me? I gotta fucking read that now. Currently called the Great Saliency Parking Lot Mask. Oh man. St. Augustine is trippy. I don't go there much, but it's supposed to be like one of the most haunted cities. I don't know. It's just weird up there for me. It's like Jacksonville's okay too, but like, you hear a lot about like, some of the guys from Shinedown and Leonard Skinner from the Jacksonville area, and it's kind of close to Georgia. But then you say that, well, it's close to Georgia. You think of like Tallahassee and Jacksonville as like hick towns, but they're giant cities, man. Oh man, I'm waiting for the story. You gotta send me the story, bro. Or when are you? If you're not working tomorrow, you got my number. Call me and tell me. That'll be hilarious. That's too funny. You know, thinking about that, like I was saying that I played automatic is kind of interesting too because when I was playing that, I actually thought some of the licks that I do are just for the sound of it, not the technical aspect. Arlo Guthrie, the Spanish fort. So like I did this a long time ago, and then so I took this part of it, and these strings suck. They're black, and then I added. And then I added this. And then I started playing it fast. But I tried to keep a nice tempo with it. And then I started adding. And so it wasn't the technical aspect of the lick, it was the sound that it created. I just like. It just had a nice flow to it. Hair metal purveyors are just sheeple? Come on, Zach. I know that's you. Hair metal guys fucking shred all over. Tennessee, Nashville is becoming the leading spot for rock guitar players. Why? Because those guys can't compete. Some of those velvet Elvis paintings are worth a lot of fucking money. That's another stupid comment. See? You're highly unintelligent, bro. Why do you even come on here? Zach, why do you even bother? I know that's got to be you. Velvet Elvis paintings. Stupid is, stupid does. Do you have a book called Quotes for Dummies? Fucking Quotes for Dummies. You can't even come up with your own sayings. You're reading from a fucking idiotic book that another idiot wrote. Quotes for Dummies for YouTubers. What's next? You can SAT test with 000.000? Fucking idiot. Oh my god. You the ghost. You're the ghost of your mama's trailer, is what you're the ghost of. Bro, it's just a shame that you have no life. That you come on here and try to be cool or funny, and you just aren't. It's even the ghost of Oscar Wilde. You're the ghost of Oscar Mayer because baloney has a first name. It's Zakkk Roberts. KKK Roberts. See how I did that? KKK Roberts. Oh my god. Yeah, Brooklyn, you said you got music out too? You did 2 new videos? I gotta check your channel out too. I haven't been on a lot of people's channels. Zach's hate shredders. Yeah, you know why? Because he can't shred. But Brett Mason can shred. Johnny Highland can shred. Michael Lee Firkins can shred. I'm sure they suck too, right? He can't sing. I remember you. Listen to him. He's screaming. Listen to that shit. Bro. To sing like Jeff Tate or Sebastian in the highlight of their career, there ain't no fucking country singer that can hit those notes, bro. Some of the best singers in the world were hair bands. Mike Michevik from Steelheart, Sebastian Bach, Firehouse, even rock bands. Steve Perry. Wasn't country, bro. You're on the wrong boat. You're gonna bust out your Harley Benton. Yeah. Foray. I would love you know what I would love for people like him, if it isn't Zach, I would love him to post a video of him playing. So let me tell you the story. So I didn't name his channel, but he had mentioned me and said I was a pretty good guitar player and blah blah blah, and he didn't want to say the name of the thing. I think he was talking about me. So I wanted to see how good he was because I was like, damn, he's a good player. He can play, and I was like, damn, this guy must be really fucking good. And he's got the wall of guitars, and he's talking about back in the day when he was gigging, and he's thinking about gigging again, but he works a regular job. I'm like, he works a regular job. I said, let me see if I could find a video on his channel, and bam, there it was. Chris Stapleton, yeah, he's pretty good. And I saw this. And he did that lick in a different spot too. And I go, oh, I see now. All bandwagon jumpers. Who's a bandwagon jumper? Dude, you don't even know what a bandwagon is. A bandwagon. No such thing. See, that's how stupid you are. You're mixing up words. I think you meant to say wagon train. You know, when everybody jumped on the, you can't, I don't think it's one word either. I don't think you really say jumped on the bandwagon. What does that actually mean? Can you actually explain that? Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Custom. And a lot of the guys that are getting into the Nashville scene are fucking monster players. But again, a lot of the recording studios have shut down. In Tennessee, Nashville has some recording studios there. There's a few still there. Like Blackbird was bought. Tom was like, "You played there?" Yeah, before when it was different owners. I go, it was a long time ago before you even got into Nashville. But that, there's a lot of, yeah, bandwagon. We should look that up. Let's look it up and see what the actual definition of bandwagon is. I heard a chuck wagon, you know, the old commercial. I'm on the Yeah, there you go. Bandwagon, 2 words. Yeah, I think it's 2 words, right, Scott? See, that's why again, the difference between reading and comprehension, the short yellow bus, bandwagon. How is bandwagon spelled? Let's see. How is bandwagon spelled? Let's embarrass him. You can do it as a single word, but you can hyphen it, which is more proper, in 2 separate words. But I never used bandwagon. Merriam Dictionary. The meaning of bandwagon is a usually ornate or high wagon, 2 separate words, high wagon, for a band of musicians, especially in a circus parade. How to use bandwagon. So actually, he now he could get away with the spelling, but it doesn't really fit in a proper text. Now, if he said jump on the bandwagon, what did he say before? All bandwagon jumpers. Yeah, bro. You know, it's like noun before this and pronoun after this and adjective this and no. All bandwagon jumpers. Unbelievable. Now, if you had said it properly, like all of you shredders like to jump on the bandwagon. Yeah. Yeah, Megadeth records in Nashville. Mitch Malloy was there for a long time. That's when he was working on the Taylor Swift stuff back in the day. Now Mitch has moved back to Florida. Yeah, I don't know. I can't entertain anything he says. It's worded incorrectly as far as his sentencing goes. You know, and I can't rag on the South because, you know, I'm from Rhode Island, but I moved to Florida in the 60s. And Florida is one of the most southern points of the United States. Farm wagon or a flatbed trailer. There you go. A cause, activity, or political party that gains mass support, leading people to jump on the bandwagon. Exactly. Jump on the bandwagon to join the winning side. Again, he used that so wrong. He should have said that he wasn't going to jump on the bandwagon with a bunch of shredders or something. I don't know. He just didn't do it. He didn't say it correct. How would you like to date on me go out with on tomorrow? I know. He messed up the vibe. Yeah, we were having fun. Fucking. But you know what? It's funny because you know what's great about this custom? And I know you. I should take your advice more. Don't entertain it. You know what I mean? Just look over it. You know, a lot of people, like a Philip McKnight or somebody, he would just overlook it and not even entertain the idea. But you know, I just like to point out how stupid they look. A journeyman. Tennessee kind of missing me off at the moment, but Yeah, Zach wants to come out like he from the dirty South, but I grew up on dirt bikes and fucking horses. You don't get no more redneck or country than I was as a kid. I want to get on that Eric Johnson bandwagon, and he's a shredder. He can shred it. Yeah, that's the other thing I can't stand. They use the word shred. Like, technically, I'm not even a shredder because shredders pick everything. You know what I mean? You would use that word, oh, he's shredding. So, like, if you're picking everything, you know, so like fast legato lines isn't really shredding. Shredding would be colloquiations are lost on you. No, you're just a fucking moron, bro. What I would suggest to you is stay in school because that job to help your mom out isn't helping you. You just, it's leading to poor language barriers, comprehension of the mental aspect of the mind, and how, yeah, maybe he fell off the wagon. Yeah, that's what happened. He fell off the wagon and hit his head, looking down at the fucking wheel as it turned. Oh, look at there, D, that wheel. Poof. Mama, something wrong with his Magula Metabo comprehension. I don't know. Zach reminds me of Waterboy. He really does. Zach could be the new Waterboy, if that's him. But Foray could be the new Waterboy. Because he's got an awful same. If that's not Zach, he's got the same fucking qualities. He really does. You know when you got to wash all your clothes in that dirty tub out in the back? You know. Where they work on the roads. Everybody, yeah. The medulla. Mama, there's no bologna on my sandwich. Eat your fries and shut up. Oh boy. At least I can make fun of it and do the comedy routine. So we could get stupid funny here too. You know what I mean? It could go either way. The funny thing is none of it bothers me. They think that they can get under my skin. I've dealt with the most ignorant, rudest motherfuckers on the earth in the industry. My dad was a cop from the military. There's there is nothing you could do or say to me that would actually bother me except show up at my house uninvited. But I mean, it's so stupid that if you think you're going to come on somebody else's channel and degrade them, especially someone that's been around the business for so long like me, like, so you know he's got to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to go to Guitar Center and buy another guitar and wake up at 9:30, 10 o'clock, call a couple friends. He's going to go to Taco Bell for lunch, which Taco Bell's fine, but he just has to have the app on there to get his discounts so he can, get a couple tacos for $3. But the problem is tomorrow he's going to be thinking about me, and I won't think about him at all until he comments again. That's the funny part. Because he doesn't get it. His comprehension of him thinking that he gets to me is neat. It's the farthest thing that could ever possibly be. You know what I mean? Oh, they painted orange. You know, now that I think about it, I remember seeing some those orange signs in Tennessee. When it's unbelievable. What else? Any more questions about what time is it even? I was looking up here and I see my thing is red. What is that? It is 9:30. 9:30. 9:40. Zach moved out to Georgia. He was in a bond. He was way behind because the musicians didn't like his deal. So he jumped up on that pole stick, Andy Wood style, and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. Zach went down to Georgia." Oh, man. Zach's out looking for Pokemon cards. Oh my god, that's fucking funny. He's the kind of guy that would go to a Target or something. You ain't getting my fucking Pokemon cards. When you gonna get some fucking Pokemon cards up in this bitch? Throwing a temp. Fucking security's gonna come over. Sir, you're gonna have to. We're gonna have to escort you out. You have Aquanet in your hair. The pink can, the white with the pink. You gotta get the white with the pink X's. I'm now a part of your central mind's landscape, whether you care or not. No, you're not. You think I am because your mentality believes that. You're so fixated on me that you create fake names and keep coming on here. I don't go on your channel. I could care less about you. You have nothing to offer. You have no skill in guitar. You can't talk right. You have no other content. You should just stick to that, boys only fans that you started. Here, my sexy. Oh, the purple one? That's funny. Do you tease your hair up? I I I showed how I used to do that one time on here, where you used to rub it, like knot it up and then pull it up. You know that Aquanet trick? We used to rub it this way. Here, let me show you. My hair's long on top, but if I take this, it might not stick up, but if you do like this, you'll see what happens. So we used to do that, and you could see it wants to stick up, and then we would spray it and then pull it, and then take the thing. Central part of whose mind? The only one that thinks about Zach is probably Tom or Andy. Oh, you use the washcloth. Oh, you do the washcloth. That creates the static too. Very clever. Cookie jars. Oh, cookie jars. I love cookie jars. His food stamps got cut off. Trump cut. Trump cut his mom's food stamps off. That's why he's angry. That explains it all. Damn. That's why Zach had to go back to work. At his local dairy farm, milking the cattle. Filthy. Nice. That's not the cheese. You don't fucking make no sense, bro. Do you write this shit down before you even come on here? I got a good one. That's nacho cheese. Let me look it up. Yeah, that's a winner. Am I sub to you? I think so. Oh yeah, dude, that Aquanet with a lighter is deadly. 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 What else you guys want to talk about? Focus, Bofus. My God. That's why you're still fucking single, Zach. You got no fucking game. You better start saving your money for those fucking escorts. Because, the only way you're going to get ass is when your finger slips through that toilet paper. Oh my God. When you were a kid, you didn't have MS, you would still do. Oh yeah? Yeah, my condition's getting worse. I talked to my lawyer about it, but I don't know what to do. As far as like, I'm starting to get numbness in my toes and stuff, which isn't good. But what am I gonna do? Fuck it. Just keep going on till I fall out. Oh my God. Too funny. And these strings are really bad on here too. Looking at them. Look how black they are. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. I didn't try to Floyd much. Oh, this. We need to write a song with just the Floyd. We could call it Zach is. I don't know. Yeah, gabapentin only works for so long, bro. You wouldn't know that. Because you can't mix your meds like that. You can make a song just out of this. How long did it take you to get ready for a show in the hair days? In the hair days? A long time ago? You mean the expose stuff and all that? Not long. But here's the funny part. Like when you're in a signed band and you get a contract to do a tour, and then they line up dates and venues, and then they start booking it. Once it's booked, it's kind of like a load-in sheet. You have your dates and schedules, and then what happens is they'll give you, say, 6 to 8 months before you go out on a tour, and we would rehearse five days a week, 8 hours a day, sometimes 6. Yeah, I take gabapentin too. It helps with the nerve damage. It really does. Never look girls, but love girls. Yeah, girls do love a guitar player. No, I don't think so. You can't take NyQuil with gabapentin, bro. Unless you want to fucking commit suicide. There's certain things that you can and can't mix. Like Xanax and gabapentin. No, kill you. But yeah, we can do a. We should do a song like that. Throw a little jazzy fusion in there. It seems like it's loose a little right there. Where's my screwdriver? Everything else seems pretty good. Do I got a screwdriver up in here? Where's my screwdriver? Oh, I sees it. It be way over there, man. Yeah, and you know what? See, like something here. Let me explain how stupid that is to even say. So somebody actually tried that, and I reported him for saying that, and go, well, that person died because he suggested it. He would go to jail for being a moron. That's how. That's how unintelligent that he understands consequences in law. You don't just say stuff to say it, and if somebody does something like that, that's a bad thing to do. Yeah, same thing with Philip. Talking about the prescriptions, he would have said, "Listen, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, and I highly discourage this. But this is what I did." You should always put a disclaimer in there. See, because a lot of people don't think on a business level and go, you know what? I'm on a social media page giving out bad information. Maybe if somebody actually gets harmed or does something that they shouldn't do because they go, oh, that works, let me try it. That's the worst thing you can do. That's why even vitamins say consult your physician. What's up, Tony? You know, it's the same like the top music attorney. I told her, you should put a disclaimer on your channel because you're an attorney and you're giving out a lot of bad information. So now she has a disclaimer on there. It took a non attorney to tell an attorney to put a disclaimer on her page. Go figure that one out. Stay in tune, let's see. Nah, springs are good. That's the only thing about Floyd's when you bend them like that, doubles like that. Yeah, and these strings are really dead. Like I can hear bad. Hear it vibrate a little. You ain't riffing on nothing, bro. Oh, yeah, this is a new one. I gotta clean the neck and put new strings in there. And they sound bad. Yeah, I like Cinderella too. Don't ask me why I just remembered that. No, I used to cheat when I did the backing vocals. Because, you know, he plays that. They play it. One plays it low, one plays it high. So you had that. What was it? There's a couple ways to play that. Yeah, this is a cool guitar. The single. I didn't even try the other pickups the same. It's a 5-way. It's got good tones with all the pickups. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I say you take some of those old licks and turn them around, make them your own. Like I do, I take the pentatonic, I do off the low E, open to the third. That's a cool one. That's like pentatonic, just position. But you can do. So if you did say start on the 5th string. So you're starting on the E, which is the minor of the G. So you're going to jump a string. And then you're going to come back to the A now from the E, which is the 5 to the 1. So here's how I put a lick together. Now I'm going to go to the 5 to the 1 of the A, which is the A and the E. So you can create like different things in there. There's all kinds of cool things you can do. Yeah, I'll see more Duncans. Nice. Yeah. You know what we should do? We should all get signs and hats saying we love Fender, and we could even AI it like 100,000 people at guitar centers in different locations. The support for Fender is enormous, and just start posting them everywhere. The Rhett Schill and Rick Beato uniform. The Schiller uniform. The next video of the Uranus track will be here playing Fender guitar, smashing PRS. Oh my god, that's too funny. That's too funny. And the same thing with that pentatonic thing. That you, like I was saying, starting off the E. So that's a D. So now you can slide it up to a D. So you just connect it to where you're ending, or just move it position to position. Do what I do. Just buy Charvels. You switch. Jackson, Charvel, Gretsch, Fender. That one, Stevie? Oh, this is a single. No wonder why it's noisy. Yeah, we should all wear white t-shirts and blue long sleeve shirts that all say Fender is the best. And we should... I was thinking, you know how like Tom Morello would paint stuff on the back, or like Eddie Van Halen on the See You Later? I could paint on this fuck shills. The shows. Fender ripped off Harley Benton. You're a jackass. Yeah, Harley Benton ripped them off. They started like 5 years ago, bro. See what I mean? Fucking moron. Yeah, the Liz. Yeah. Now the Lizzie Hell guitar plays great. I don't like the red one though. Dude. You know my 11-year-old says that, right? Duh. You really got to get out more often. Stop going to the movies by yourself, bro. It's damaging your brain. Oh my God. Stardust? Not for you. You have to pay me. I don't play for people that can't speak. Duh. You gotta be like mentally on the same, like, last time I was in middle school, shit, 70s, bro. I mean, that's when we used that. We actually created that word, I believe. What's up, Mechanic Jams? Neil Shun should do a new version. He probably would hate that, wouldn't he? It's a stretch. Mechanic Jams in the house. The track master. You should never negotiate with Foray. He has no common sense. Yeah, it's like arguing with like a 6-year-old. Like, why would you even entertain the idea? I see the problem here, though. Now, you have no reasoning, bro. The problem with you, Foray, Zachster, is you've lived such a sheltered life in the trailer with your mom, taking care of her. I actually feel bad for you, dropping out of school, delivering newspapers for a living, starting out. And then that kind of led into your idea of the boys only fans thing you were doing, and then allegedly, and then, having degraded yourself to a unreasonable amount of it's just hard for a psychiatrist to get into your head because there's nothing in there. So the reasoning behind that has led you to dating yourself and looking in the mirror. Oh my, he needs to be tuned up. I got my monkey wrenches right here. You broke the live E, the low E in your live. It's funny you say that because usually when I played live, I broke my high E or my B string, and the low string that I would break all the time is my D string. For Zach, it's a G string because that's all he's got. By the way, Foray, I got you some diaper rash ointment. It's on the way. I'm sending you. You and your mom can share. Just make sure you wash your fingers after. Every time you stick it in there. That way you can share and not transmit. Bacteria. Your mom from the Depends, you from the G-string. And you should really wash your mom's underwear before you before you start wearing them to work. My God. A medulla oblongata defect. You could call it. We need a new name for it. The new disease, the new mental disease called pulp fictionado or I don't know. Somebody's gonna come up with a new saying for it. Like, what is it? The water boy syndrome. My mama said. That's a great movie, ain't it? My mama said. This is the funny part. It just. Oh, put a little extra on there. I don't do that only because I bring backup guitars. I have enough in here that if I was doing a live stream and focus thing, I just pick another one up. Now that I think of it. See, that's something Zach or Foray. I'm pretty sure that's Zach. He would break his low E string, and with all these guitars in this room, like let's say this is his room. Hold on, everybody. Let me change my string. Hold on, string. Everybody, I will change you. What's going on? We got a Zach wannabe or Zach on here. The Water Boy should have won Best Picture. I agree. Yeah, there were some great movies that didn't win awards. I mean, look at they took Zach's life story and turned it into a fucking major motion picture called The Water Boy. It's unbelievable how uncanny he did. Adam Sandler did such a great job portraying Zach. He should have won a fucking award just on the fucking clothing alone. Oh, I got the Charvel. I gotta clean the fretboard in the. Which way? This way? Can't see. He had, they had just taken that in. Don't talk about my mama, because my dad is an FBI of Sunshine County. How did that go for you, Zach? I know they talked to you. They talked to Tom. I know that for sure. And I can have your page taken down if I really wanted to. But I find you pathetic. So so the only thing you got going for you is nothing. Oh my god. A what? Eliminate button? A client? Oh, eliminate button on the. Oh yeah, you can click on them and take them off if you wanted to. Let's see. Can I do it? If you go, where is he? Let me. I don't know. In the. I don't know if I do it. Will you see it? So if you actually click on them, you can report them or you can hide them from the channel. You can. Now, I find him amusing, so, but because he's not constantly talking, which is okay. Takes him a few minutes to gather his thoughts and write down his idea. Let me see. What is this? No, do I want this to go down? Right here? How do I get this to go down? I did this last time and fucked it up. That's up. Wait. Don't want a driver update. See, I knew I would hit the wrong thing. It's this one. Let me go back to the bottom of the comments. Decline. Alan Amante. Boa noite. Oh, Brazil. What's up, Brazil? Brazil in the house. We got people from all over the world on here. All over the world. Yeah, he'll just do another name. Like it's really clever, which is actually against YouTube standards, but it is what it is. I find him amusing entertainment. Like he's good for entertainment. Like see, here's a great thing. I said it before, there's only so much content you can do on theory and guitars and music. That's why I like to talk about all kinds of things. But at the same time, if you guys get one of these kind of people on your channel, you see how you learn how to deal with them. You know what I mean? Ignorance has no bounds. That's true. No bounds. Yeah, his burner account in 2024 with 4 subs. That's true. Dude, I see him all the time. And they talk shit and they think that they're smart and blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, where's your videos, bro? And why do you got 4 subscribers when you're not even doing anything? It's baffling. It really is. And those 4 subscribers are his other bot accounts. Maybe his mom subscribed to him. Mama, you subscribing? I look real. Fuck, man. You know, like I can't even picture him at like a real, like, could you imagine Zach or whatever his name is at like a fucking Pantera concert and guys just looking over pissing on his shoes? Oh, you're pissing on me. I know. Oh my god. See, this is great because like Jonathan Nathan Corder or Rhett Schill, see they can do, instead of just doing fake AI videos about I don't know what to do and that kind of disappeared already. Yeah, you could do block user, right? But you know, it gives idea where Rhett and Jonathan can create their own fake accounts now, get their moms to subscribe, like Zach, he's a perfect example, and then give themselves content to do. But you can't be on your laptop over here while you're doing your live stream. Jit boy, you think you smart. you, wait, where'd that fucking book go? Shit. Oh, what? Oh my god. Oh, well, we grew up. You know, my dad was So like I was a kid in the 70s and 60s, but coming out of the 60s, him being military, and then you just had that wave of, the hippie days in the 60s, and then my dad being military and then becoming a cop. As a kid, my dad was like you went through that hippie thing, and then coming into the 70s and stuff, it was a different like era where, the last of the parenting and the people like that like they're a dying breed. People aren't like that anymore. So like Zach's probably 25, 30, and no offense to younger people, but they didn't have the upbringing of a military father like that in the old days. The old days, somebody like that, they would beat the stupid out of them or electroshock them into smartness. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Strummin? You know what I mean? They would Baker act him, even though that didn't exist, and put him in an insane asylum and shock treatment him and shock the stupidity right out of him because that's how it was. And now you got guys like him that run around with these stupid bot accounts who think they're highly intelligent, and they just make themselves look idiotic on a channel like this, and then he's gonna think that he did such a great job, and he's like God. Sasquatch said he'll be waiting on his porch for his daddy to come home. Yeah, but it's just one of those things. Our upbringing was so different. Nah, the teachers at GIT they were all jazz guys, like the Robin Fords and Scott Hendersons and Tommy Tedesco's and stuff. There were like no they were shredders in their own right for what they did, but they were they were old school. I mean, they didn't take shit. Like you didn't dare talk back to like you'd get thrown out. Like we didn't have. So again, the way I was brought up was you know to have respect for our elders and this and that, and you know you protect yourself but you don't start trouble. Yeah, yeah, you got your ass whipped when you were out of line. There you go. Yeah, military fathers. Yeah, I'll tell you a story of when I was a kid. So I studied martial arts, and by the time I was 16, I already had two black belts. And my dad said something to me one time, and I was in the garage. And I told him, fuck you. And he punched me so fucking hard, and I just slid down the wall. And you know what he did to me? He told me to get up. And he said, let me help you. And he grabbed me by the shirt and pulled me up. My dad was huge. Pulled me up. He said, we ain't done yet. That's the kind of father I grew up with. He said, you want some more? I said, no, sir. Can I go to my room now, sir? Yes, you may. And go change your pants. Because you done shit yourself, boy. No, Sir's overrated. LSL's overrated. I mean, just look at who's playing what. Carlos Santana has got a PRS deal endorsement, and he plays Fender on all his records. Neil Sean, PRS, and Gibson. I mean, you just look at who's playing what. It's you know what I mean. For $500, I mean, you ain't gonna get anything better than that. You're not. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups in there. I mean, for $500 versus my Kiesel for 3,500. The Kiesel's a phenomenal guitar, but not for that kind of money. I was just Come on, man. You weren't adding anything except stupidity. Grilled cheese. Tomato grilled cheeses. Eat your fucking grilled cheese. But mama, there's no cheese on it. You got enough cheese on the underwear you steal from me, boy. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful looking guitar. It's got Seymour Duncans. I mean, a Sir is, it's kind of like an R9, which this Les Paul right here. It's 16 grand. It's a Burst Brothers. Everyone talks about, you know, other people in the business that are doing, these guitars. But, there's a lot of people that were doing that a long time ago, but nobody talks about them. Like the Murphy Labs. Well, what about the Burst Brothers that were doing that a long time ago? You know what I mean? It, it's always, it's like I said, Sean Lane at 14 years old was in Black Oak, Arkansas. At 17, they got him on video shredding scales. Ain't Eddie Van Halen wasn't even doing that. Not like Sean. It's just a matter of doing the research and finding that. If I thought Sirs were good, I'd have one in here. If I thought Tom Anderson was good, I'd have one in here. But you see Ibanez, Schecter, there's a $3,000 PV, there's a $16,000 Les Paul. Sir has a 60% loss in resale value. So does Tom Anderson. And they still have a lot of quality control problems as opposed to... So if you put LSL, Tom Anderson, and Sir together, they don't even create half the instruments Fender does. And Fender has less quality control issues based on the amount of sales and guitars they build. That's a fact. A stolen guitar or amp? That's a good question. No, it's usually speakers. Those vans pull around. Hey man, you want to buy some speakers for your house? Never a guitar. I've had stuff stolen from shows. The new Ibanez, yeah. The J Customs, they're really nice looking. Your dad was a shithead. Yeah, I got a pine bodied Squire right there, 50s vibe, $250. If Andy wants to go cut some heads, I can bring out a $200 guitar. We can go at it. He can play all the fucking Eric Johnson licks he likes. He can bring out his $4,000 Sir. It's always the Indian, not the arrow. You need a good arrow, but you also need an Indian that knows how to shoot that arrow. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I paid 500 for this used. So my whole idea is go buy used. You can find great deals. You know, for the quality. You know, if this guitar was $4,000, would I buy it? No. I'll buy it for 500. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what though? I did catch somebody when I was a kid. He took something of mine at a what do you call it? Battle of the Bands. But a lot of the stuff that I took out on tour, I had etched on all my stuff. So like when I had my heads and stuff like that, I had on the back plates. I would take the plates off and I would etch my name on there. So like I have, and then like now I just sign my name on there with like a Sharpie. Like on the side, I'll sign my name. Yeah, I might go overseas. That's a good possibility too. Dude, there's so many weird things that happens like that. You know what I mean? No, it's a bolt on. Yeah, it's a shame. So like Black Oak in Arkansas, like at the time when Sean was in the band, he started at 14, but there's actual video of him at 17, which is around the time of Halen and stuff. He was doing all legato runs. I mean, it's fucking fast, and it's on video. You can look it up. Him at 17. Sean, wait, let's see. Sean Lane. Let's do it. He was skinny as hell. I was too back then. Let's see, Sean Lane. Let's see. Let's go on YouTube. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it for you. Scott's probably already got it loaded. Sean Lane, Black Oak, Arkansas, 17. Let's see. Dismiss. Sean Lane. I'll put 17 years old. Let's see, numbers. Black Oak Live. So they used to let him do a guitar solo. So here's him. Here's him in guitar solo. Here, I'll play it. Let me see.
Kiss my Swedish boyfriend, work, fold laundry. Oh, it would be so much easier if I could just sell my clothes on Depop.
Let me see. Let me see if this will go in. I don't know how loud this will be. Let's see.
Sell clothes.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the ripe old age, this veteran right here, the road of 17 years old, Mr. Sean Lane on guitar. Your boy right here.
Watch his scales. Unfucking believable. 1979. That's ridiculous. Yeah, he's a monster player. I'm so that's I'm so glad that I got to meet him. You know, I met him a couple times and sat with him and stuff, back then. He was always at a GIT, mostly in Atlanta. But he was a monster player. He was a very kind person as well. Yeah, she came out on the ad. Oh, Zach, yeah, he was skinny. He was a good-looking dude. Yeah, that's ridiculous, right? So that's in 1979. That's insane. Like, nobody talks about how good he was because a lot of people don't know. I didn't meet him, but I met him probably around 83, 84. Yeah, the only I mean, I got some top tier guitars, but you know what I mean? And that's only because I buy stuff like that because, well, the Kiesel was on a lot of records, but my Purple Strat was half the price, and that was on more records. That Purple Custom Strat that I had, I still have it. I just put it away. Isn't it hard to play that fast to the track? No, because it's just speed. I mean, it's just there was actually a guitar solo spot for him. You know, because a lot of people don't know who they are. You know, it's kind of like it's like Rick Beato, who says he's in the industry, but he doesn't talk about like Rick Graham, Marshall Harrison, Chris from Savatage, because he don't know who they are. But a real guitar player like you guys that all play, you guys know who Sean Lane is. You know who Savatage is. You know what I mean? Andy from uh, Merciful Fate, and you know King Diamond. Yeah, he's probably still here. He can't go away. He can't stand it. For asshole, for a asshole, for a asshole. But I mean, that's the thing. I was in the guitar playing, so I know. It's like Eric. Do I think Eric Johnson is incredibly gifted? Yeah. Do I love the way his music sounds? No. I don't like instrumental music. I mean, I like some of Vi's stuff, like Flexible. I like some of the Passion and Warfare. I didn't like him with Zappa. I didn't like. I liked a few things that Satch did. I'm not into the instrumental stuff because if I wanted to hear instrumental stuff, I would just listen to jazz guys. You know, but like if you're just playing speed stuff, you can do whatever you want if you're just playing over it. You know what I mean? As long as you're playing the right notes in the key, nothing to it. Trust me. Zach knows. Fucking boy. I'm gonna get you. Zach! Yes, mama? Where's my crackers? You fuck out my fucking crackers with my soup. I'll be right there, mama. FaceTime. My bass is over there. I'm gonna set the I'm gonna set the neck because I was already told that I'm going to get an email tomorrow afternoon for some tracks. So for whatever reason the neck is a little more than I like. I actually was looking for a new bass. It's bass time again. You know it's the time. Did I thump it? You're 100% right. I need a hook. I need a melody. Not even a guitar melody. I need it. I need words. Again. It's like I said. If you hear a couple notes, right? And I do this. And I go, who is that? Every fucking one of you know who that is. You know what I mean? As opposed to like Satch Boogie and you're like, what is that? I mean, it's just different. But then you got words to go with it. And the hook, it's, I don't know. It just seems cooler to me that you can make all that fit together. I use an Ibanez Talisman. Silver Sparkle. You make some bangers during your solos? Yeah, Journey. Yeah, I mean, it's so cleverly written. It's like playing the least amount of notes that are the most memorable. That's unbelievable. And then putting a memorable solo into one of the greatest melody vocal songs, and then you got keyboards over it and piano and the bass. It just is so baffling to put all that into one package. That's what I'm interested in. Like instrumental music, like I've thought about doing that myself, but I was like, for what? It's only like it's like a selfish thing. It's some people might like it, but I'm just doing it to show I can play. Yeah, they appeal to the hobbyists, for sure. The Beato shows, and they fool everyone. Oh, you did an inventory for the live stream stuff? Yeah, because a lot of people, they trust people. And that's my biggest issue, because they shill themselves as well as shill other things. And when you get people that shill themselves as opposed to being honest with the real people, that's just bad news, man. Because you're doing something for self gain instead of actually helping people. It's like Rick talked about I said, so unmonetize your fucking channel, and the copyrights don't mean shit. But see, you want the fucking money that somebody else's creation, right? So here's Beato on the copyright stuff saying that, oh, I should be able to use this for educational purposes. No, there's publishing and copyrights that limit you to the amount you can use. You didn't create it, so fuck off. That's my message for Rick. When you start writing music like that, you can put it all over your fucking channel when you get hits. And he can't. And who's he to critique and break down songs? You failed as a fucking musician. Your band failed. So why should I take your word for what it is? I rather listen to somebody that's either more creative or successful. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to hear how to do brain surgery, I'm not going to ask my cousin who's a banker. I want to hear it from the brain surgeon guy. And I don't even want to hear it from the guy who's learning the brain surgery. I want to hear it from the guy who's teaching it. I don't want to hear the bullshit from somebody who says they're in the music industry dissecting songs and telling you how great they are when, well, why didn't you write one of those fucking songs and break it down yourself and study it and then fucking produce one of those? Why didn't you write one? Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. What's up, Allison? So that's my problem. For the Weather Channel? Yeah, I mean, yeah, he doesn't understand mechanicals and royalties. He doesn't talk about urban versus rural. You've never heard Rick talk about a spec deal. I thought you were in the business. Everything you say is fucking bullshit. He's a fraud. He really is. Now, did he try to work in the music industry and parlay his way into some stuff by sneaking in there? Yeah. He did it with Shinedown. You just text me when you get it started. Say, I'm going to go on so-and-so. And I dissect music. That's what I have to do. I listen to what's popular. I kind of do what he almost is doing what I actually do in the real world. I told you I use AI to get ideas. I listen to Spotify for the top hits. and I create 3 tracks so that I don't get blamed for not writing the hit. I give them 3 versions. They can pick out whatever fucking one they like. I get paid for it and I move on. He doesn't talk about that. So out of the 3 tracks, they might buy all 3 tracks. So this is how I get ahead in the business side of it. I give them 3 tracks and they go, well, we're going to use this one for now, but let me talk to them because I would like to buy the other 2. So now I just sold 3 songs instead of 1. You see how that works? See, Rick don't talk about that. He doesn't know shit about that. Oh, you did the Trooper? You're going to crash now? Good night, Gigi. Did you wash that out of your hair? Gonna wash that Aquanet right out of my hair. I used to fall asleep. I did shows and I'd be sweaty back in the day. And I'd go to sleep on the hotel. And I'd wake up and my head would be flat, sticking up on one side. Yeah, like Rhett Shill's father, Glenn Schill. Oh, I'm going to hire you as an intern, boy. You're my best prodigy right here. Tell your daddy. My music career didn't go so good. I'm going to hire you. Tell your daddy. Like, why did Rhett Schill want to fucking friend a 40-year-old guy when he was in his 20s that failed in music? I don't know, man. It's just fucking baffling to me. Oh, Finesse. Yeah. I used to like that scrunch spray, too. Who did that? The Aussie scrunch spray? Always smelled really good. The cone heads. I looked like a cone head when I woke up after a show. Again, be drooling on myself. Hair's all sticking up like straight up one side. Yeah, I'm going to check out the Trooper too. Yeah, Rick's got his own show that he does, and he charges $100 a ticket. For what? He's like fucking... He reminds me of the Clintons. Go broke in the White House, and then go fucking do speaking engagement tours for $50,000 a person. Like, what a fucking shyster. Head and Shoulders, yeah. I use that too. He's like on tour, and he doesn't even play music. Rick Beato's coming to an area near you. Special guest opening up the Velvet Hammer with his sidekick, Zach the Water Boy. He ain't playing no songs. He's a speaking tour. He just talks about the industry that he has no part of. Let me go make some money on my bullshit. It's kind of like, it's like, no offense, but some of the band camps, like the Woodshed. Let me pay you $4,000 or $5,000 for 3 fucking nights, and when I could have taken that $3,000 and put it into a year's worth of real lessons with a real, you know what I mean? It's so stupid. I would never, no, you know, especially at Andy Wood's clinic. I mean, he doesn't have anybody there that's worth a shit. He plays one song at the end, Pantene. Damn, I need to start a new tour, the Jizzy World Tour. I'll tell you all my stories. Wrote a song about it. Here it goes. I was down the house. Ah! Want to hear it? Here it goes. The Stephen Greer of music. Ricky, don't you lose my number. Lose my address, too. Yeah, he's just going to talk He's going to bullshit his way into more money. See, that's what I mean. They take this shit and they parlay it. It's like the Clintons. Like I said, they do the speaking things. You pay X amount of money, and they do these speaking tours. It's like that old school thing. It's old school. I'm going to teach you how to flip houses. Just buy my course for $800, and you'll have a personal phone number. Oh, so you're selling courses. You say you're a multi-millionaire, so why would you even sell a course? It doesn't make sense. Oh, because you're bullshitting me. Listen, I've told you guys 100 times. I don't want to be monetized. I'm not playing the game. I got plenty of fucking money. If he was in the music industry and made all this money, he wouldn't even be selling tickets. I would just have free shows. Like if I did a show like that, I wouldn't even charge you. First come, first serve. Yeah, it's like $100 a ticket. I wouldn't charge anybody to come hear me fucking talk. I'll pay Zach to sit in the third row and start a comedy routine. Yeah, paintings. The $10 million paintings. Shyster. Imagine if he sold 5 tickets. What's the date? I'll have some signs made. Canceled. Man, where is everybody? That's messed up. Somebody told me they took a Rhett Scholl course. It was like an hour-long lesson, and he talked for like 50 minutes of the lesson, and he showed 10 minutes on guitar. Yeah, to be honest with you, like I get invited to NAMM every year. I won't go no more because they turned it into a social media event. I don't want to see Henning Pauly. I don't want to see Rick Beato because I'd have words with him right then and there. I'd walk right up to him and say, "You're a fucking fraud, bro. Everybody knows it. Except for the people you fool." Henry Rollins, yeah. He thinks he's Henry Rollins. At least he could fucking write a book and give the book. He should give you the Beato book for free. Come to my show. You sign up. You see what I mean? He could make it something and say, when you sign up and buy a ticket, I'm going to give you, you get a free Beato lesson book. It's all blank. At the fucking end, it says, "The end. You got fucked." You put Rhett Schill's signature in there with Zach, Andy, and Tom. I gotta give Tom more credit. Tom actually, to be honest with you, Tom is more successful than Rick Beato in the music industry, but yet Rick has bought more subs and a bigger channel than Tom and Andy. Andy's a good player. Tom's a decent player. But the funny part is, and here's the guy that helps him out, who failed in the industry, Rick Beato. Would make a great comedy team. That's funny. It's baffling to me. It's like, Rick, Mr. Tom Bakovac, he's been on a lot of fucking records. What have you done? Why are you interviewing him? You don't know dick. The fuck are you doing here? Dookie. Yeah. I agree, the pirating. The chills are depressing. Well, at first I didn't realize what they were doing. because I came back to YouTube after all that. But then I started seeing, and the more I started watching, like I did at first watch Rhett, and I did watch Rick, and then they turned, like they became something that they weren't. I was like, what's going on? Oh, they're getting paid. Affiliate. What do you mean? You get paid to sell a shit guitar? The fuck? Yeah, I don't mind the interviews, but some of the interviews are okay, and he asks some okay questions. But I mean, he should actually sit down with, like, he should have a producer that actually tells him, hey man, maybe you should ask him this and that, and maybe we should, you know what I mean, to give him ideas instead of him having ideas for his own show. Because let's face it, what made him famous was his son with the perfect pitch. It wasn't even him. And I do watch him now and then. And I told him to knock it off with the fucking copyright thing before he gets a call from Bill. And I told him he'll take your whole he'll delete your channel and you'll lose your 25K a month. You're not thinking about your family, Rick. You're just doing it for clicks and opening your mouth. You're going to get your hand bit. But I mean, his interviews aren't. Yeah, sometimes he asks the wrong questions. Sometimes he doesn't, like, he's not he's not like a real journalist. You know what I mean? And even when I watch journalists, sometimes they're not what they used to be, asking all the cool questions. So how did you get started? No. Who gives a fuck how he got started? Let's get into how you almost quit. That I came along, shed the light. Yeah, I mean, you know who you should thank is my kid. Because when I started watching the YouTube, with the Ryan's World, Dad, he's rich. What are you talking about? And then I started looking up all the stuff he was telling me. I'm like, Ryan's World's worth $100 million? The fuck? How did this happen? Like it became like what's that? The QSC show? YouTube is a giant QSC show. And if they aren't selling guitars, they're selling you fucking lessons. If they're not selling you lessons, they're selling you tickets to their shows. And who are they? Nobodies. The problem is Paul McCartney really doesn't give a shit about Rick. You know what I mean? Paul McCartney's a Beatle. So here's a great question he could ask Paul. So who's the first to break your Beatles record of top tens? Be a little boy named Jizzy. Little old dance band back in the 87. Wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? Here it goes. You're taking me. Yeah, it's kind of like Mac's guitar, and like I remember him with Serge Droban. Yeah, I was almost there, man. I was on the verge of making it. Not playing metal the way you do, because Michelangelo said to keep it up. You got signed to an off label. That's almost making it. Yeah, the commercials are what kills me. I hate all the commercials because like how do you like when you do a live stream, right? How do you allow commercials to be on your live stream? Put them on your regular videos, but eliminate. They want their commercials. That shows how pathetic people are. They want them on their live streams. They want them on the videos. Why don't you just fucking put a shirt on and get paid for that and says, I am a YouTuber shill. So every time you step out, you get paid for it. And you can wear Harley Benton rules the world. It's stupid. and then fucking go down to the car place and get those wraps. You know what I mean? Put a wrap on your car so you get paid. While you're at it, do some guitar antennas. I mean, where does it end? When do you draw the line? YouTube made it. See, like we have a lot of bad police now because what happened is the pay scale. A lot of people saw opportunities as far as good pay. That's what happened to YouTube. Once they monetize and people could see how they can sit home making a living instead of actually making a living in the music industry and then saying that YouTube is the music industry. I'm a professional YouTuber. I make it in the music industry. No, you're not in the music industry. You're a social media influencer, not a social media musician. You can be, but you're not a record label Atlantic Geffen artist. You're not an artist. So how do you have a fucking signature guitar through Gibson if you're not even a real artist? It's fucking baffling to me. Yeah, he may have played in front of that many people on a festival tour. Not his band, not with his music. Retcho. I played in front of 50,000 people. I didn't write a lick. I filled in. Tom's played in front of that many people before. I'm sure maybe Joe Walsh show or on a festival tour. Do I ever? Yeah, I still get offered to go out on the road for gigs. Sincere. That's funny. When I was doing Grace Jones's record, that was last year. What's his name? John Lennon's kid. I forget his name. He wanted me to work with him, and I told him no. The industry, baby. John Lennon's kid. What's his name? Not Sean Lennon. I can't remember his name. Man, my mind's blank. I must have caught Zach syndrome. Please help me. He's infected my computer with the waterboard disease. My mama told me. Sean Lennon? Why does that not sound right to me? Sean. Julian. Yeah, Julian Lennon. Yeah, Sean's the younger one. Julian Lennon. Like, he wanted me to finish his record and do some stuff with him. I've got asked to go out on other tours and stuff like that. The problem is it's for hire. Like, I've got offers from like people like Bruno Mars and stuff like that. I don't want to do it. I don't have the desire to play other people's music and not get paid. You know what I mean? Like, again, like if you're playing with Rad or Quiet Riot, it's a $400 gig. And basically you're still in a cover band because you didn't write any of it. George Wilbanks, 3K people. He was opening. I like George. George is funny as shit. For diarrhea medicine? That's fucking funny. Red should be in the commercials for diarrhea medicine. When it's that time of the day and you just don't feel good. Cause Zach slipped you a Mickey. The problem. Oh, the chicken shop. In 3 years, you played in front of more people. In 3 of a lifetime, his daddy's dad, brothers, sisters. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. that played it. Like I have a friend. His name's Chris Carrion. He plays in a cover band, and he does a lot of the Sturgis shows, and they get hired to do some of the bigger events and stuff. Really good band, and same thing, you know, like like I just did that bike week gig last year. No, was it this year? Maybe this year. I don't remember. And there was thousands of people there. I don't know how many. But you know, it's funny because now to fill up a festival size place like 50,000 or 100,000, bands used to do that by themselves. Like Madison Square Garden, the Coliseum, which ain't there no more. I mean, you needed a big draw, you know, as a band, but these guys can't do it today on their own. Like Michael Jackson, somebody like that stature that can draw. You know what I mean? But that's why they try to put two bands. They'll try to get like two good bands out on the road together. Before it would be, now you might have an opening band that plays like 20, 30 minutes, and then you got you'd have your headliner, and then like a semi headliner, you know, a new band that came out that's pretty good, that, you know, you might have like, say, Beyonce, and then you might have the Carpenter Girl, and then like a local. That's how they would draw now. So they get local people to come to the show for her, and then they get the other people for the draw, and then the other, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, 10, $20. Yeah, for sure. I knew tickets were getting to, even back then, you know, Insane Clown Posse. That's another band I used to listen to. Are they still around? Insane Clown Posse. I used to watch. They used to go on the wrestling shows sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Again, yeah. Like I seen uh, Soundgarden with Guns N' Roses, an opening band. Yeah. See, that's what happened. How social media became so popular, because you used to have great radio stations that played rock and they played their dance. Some of those stations are gone, and now they're on, you know, the satellite radio. YouTubers have always been scammers. Well, when it first started out, there were a lot of YouTubers on here that weren't that way, but a lot of them changed. Who would want to see 30 bad bands at a festival? I, I need my money back. I don't feel so good. Mr. Shield, do you have that medicine? Brick farts, tic tacs, and a carton of cigarettes. That's what you paid your roadie. Carry my shit, boy. Zach, where are you? I said put the fucking heads over there and the cabinets over there. Yes, sir. Here's your pay. Here's some tic tacs. Give those to your mama. Oh my goodness. Zach be over there. Drug and drink all day. You would put, yeah, you'd have to drink and do drugs to go see 30 bad bands. Because I mean, what you don't get nothing out of all that money you would pay for a 2-day festival. You'd have to be really fucked up and then think about it when you're done. Go, that wasn't a good idea. I should have saved the drinking and drugs for something better. Oh my God. Wasn't the festival money I was worried about. You were going to do it for free? Oh my God, too funny. The Rick Beato Red Shell Festival. With special guest, the Velvet Hammer. Mr. Andy Wood. He'll be on Gay Day. The Gay Shed Factory. Woodshed. Andy, where's my fucking apology, bro? Still waiting. 89. Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of good bands in clubs. Yeah, I go, I can't believe they didn't make it. There were some fucking great bands back in the day. How did that Criers? You got your back. Owen was I think that was Tough Luck, maybe. They had some good songs back then. Misfits, yeah. It's a it is a it's like a doll. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Let me see. Can I pull it out? There's a gold and silver coin over there. Oh, there's my other battery. You motherfucker, I lost you. That's the Quiet Ride album back there, too. Oh, I dropped the other battery. See, now you can see the Quiet Ride. Let me step out of the way. Now I'll pull this back. There's the Quiet Riot. I got some Deadpool, Spider-Man. I got my Born to Rock right there. Alf. I got Peter Criss back there. An Elvis doll. Ozzy Osbourne. I got some stuff in there. Up there is a bunch of Funkos and Family Guy stuff. I got some Elvis stuff up there. There's Metallica. You know those Funko Pops. This is a gold and silver coin. I left it in there. But this is the Misfits here. Badass, ain't it? Don't touch it. Goes up to 13. Your lucky number. They took that directly from Zach's family portrait album. The Waterboy Chronicles. There's all kinds of stuff back there. There's a Prince record that he signed for me. There's a Prince record to my buddy Jizzy. No, I didn't go by that, but there's some stuff back there. Yeah, it's cool, right? Oh, the Allen guy. Yeah, I talked about him. Here's a Stratocaster you don't have to boycott. I don't have to boycott anybody. Except you, Jace Allen, you fucking grifter. Hot Plains grifter. Survivor. Showing you the good stuff. There's all kinds of stuff back there. All the Funkos and stuff. I don't know. Maybe if I turn this up, you can see the Funkos. Let's see. I can kind of go up there. There's all kinds of. I got Metallica. There's Mick Mars is up there. One of them just fell though. Let's see. Wrong way. There's all kinds of stuff up there. That only turns so much. Get back in your thing. Whoops. See that? I'm going to disappear for a second. I accidentally hit it. Oh, there's my purple guitar. You can see it there. Oh, the Kiss dolls, I have them too. I gave them to my kid. Over there, I got Superman, some Mickey Mouse stuff. I got my Turbo Man. What else do I got? I got some. What do I got down here? I got some old magazines. Got some race car stuff. I got too much shit in here. But that you saw the clown guitar that got in the video. That's a, I don't know. Can I show that? How did I get that in there? There it is. Is that it? Yeah. So that has the. It's a clown. It's up on top. So that's like a. I don't remember 73, 76 Fender Strat. That was fiberglass and then airbrush for me. I used that on tour. Let's wrap up time that the PV headstock. Here's my big Mickey watch. What else is in there? Don't worry, I'll be right back. You'll see me disappear for a second. No, I hit the button by accident. My kid's got the funk. He's got probably 300 Funkos in his room. He loves collectibles. Some glow-in-the-dark Kiss concert shirts. Original Van Halen tour shirts. How many albums have I played on? Ooh. You mean single tracks and everything all together? Like even songs that they may have bought and redone? Like my stuff that I actually wrote? You're talking 40 years of writing? If I was to guess, I'd say probably close to 5,000. Because you have to remember, like I said, so like I would do 3 songs, and sometimes they would buy all of them and only use one, and then save the other 2, and it might end up as a backup for somebody else that they want. Activision paid Gibson to license the small. Oh, really? I didn't know that. For the Guitar Hero double cutaway. That's a really cool idea. Or fun fact. That's awesome, man. Thank you, Richard. Yeah, because I was busy, because don't forget I was doing jingles. I was doing orchestrations, like music sound scores. Again, I was conducting 100-piece orchestrations and writing full, first, second, third violin. I was one of those guys. Get that long hair freak out of here. Motherfucker stealing my show. He's a fucking kid. Get his ass out. Chattanooga, yeah. I had the property in Tennessee. It was in Westport, Tennessee. Yeah, it was. And I got, once I was dealing with the record labels, like for my bands, Because I was signed to Scotty Brothers. The album was on the radio. They went belly up, never paid us. The band fucking died. And then I ended up going back into the music sound scores. And then from when I was doing the music sound scores, they would come in, hey man, do you know how to write jingles? And then I would do that, on top, 5, 10, 15 seconds for, $5,000. The jingles paid more than, they were less to do, but you had to be really clever. And that would lead to the melody hooks. Dun, 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 dun. When you did stuff like that, bum, 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 there's $5,000. And then the more it gets played, Chattanooga, since, is that where Red Shell lives now? Chattanooga? Is that why I went down? Yeah, so like certain things like that. So you could do a jingle really quick. You get a quick idea and then throw it on there. Do 2 or 3 jingles. That's $15,000. then you do orchestration, and then you go and you record 2 guitar parts or write a song musically. And again, you were writing basic stuff. I mean, it would be easy because you would be doing stuff like I said. Whoops. Or just spacing. So there's a rhythm to one, and then I would come up with another part. So you write really quick, bullshitty kind of songs like that. You still see some channel. Oh yeah, there's a lot of guys riding that train, riding that bandwagon, right to Clicksville for Trash and Fender. And they all do it. This is the video that I really hated to do. I didn't want to do this video, but this is my 10th one because I'm a shill and I love my clicks. It's good for my wallet. Yeah. Quick bullshit. There you go. And you have to write like where it sounds like real simple and basic. I'm like the Malcolm Young of pop and country rock. Thank you, Fur Dog. Yeah, it's just one of those things where, you just... And what happened was, I hated dealing with Atlantic, and I had some problems. I told you guys the story. So I went obscure. I didn't want to tour no more. I didn't want to, I would fill in here and there for a band just to do live stuff, for people that I knew. And then I was writing the music because I could sit here all day and do it. You know what I mean? And it's much easier. I can work from home. What do? I write music. I write the music that makes my bank account sing. I write the music that, it's just one of those things where you go, shit. I don't have to write a full album. I can do 3 songs. Let them pick 1 or let them pick 3. And you do those bullshit kind of songs. Have I ever had anybody reject all of them? Yeah, that's happened. It's not common, but you have an artist who like is hard to deal with, and they're like, she didn't like any of them. We'll tell her when she can write a fucking hit, let her write it herself. Andy has a lesbian mullet. Andy is a lesbian mullet. No, I don't know. He's allegedly fruity. Gay Street. That's where he plays, right? Yeah, jingles are, yeah. pretty fun, and they're very lucrative, and they take the least amount of time. Like if you're trying to make money and get your foot in the door, try jingles. And you can get a percentage of the jingle. You can get a flat fee and a percentage. You write ba 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 ba. That's been played for years. If you got $5,000 for that, fuck that. You take the $5,000 and say I want 4%. Fender take down the shills. My back's starting to tighten up. That's why I'm fidgety. Looking for drink, fidgety. The video game music? No, you can't get in there. That's owned all by Tencent out of China. That's hard to get into. He drives a Subaru. Is it pink? Jingle jangles. Dingles jangles. You have sweet picking arpeggios in your jingles. Yeah, Barry Manilow's done some jingles. Absolutely. Again, it's a lot of money in it. That's why you see a lot of famous actors in commercials. And that's why they do them. It's a very short amount of time. It's like a jingle for them. They go in for a commercial that's like fucking 20 seconds and they get paid $1 million. I don't think any guitar is worth $9,000. To be honest, I wouldn't even pay that for the fucking guitar that auctioned off that was supposedly David Gilmour's guitar that wasn't used on the album, except for the body. Everything else was parts that were put on there after the fact. I wouldn't have paid $9,000 for that. I should shut this down. Let me shut this down because I'm getting a little tired. I have to go soon. Andy Pearson. I gotta remember who that is. Andy Pearson. Kind of enlighten me. I'm bad with names, bro. Andy Pearson. Andy Pearson. Is that John Pearson's brother? Andy Pearson. Trying to be edgy. You hate him. Well, they make it hard on you because, it used to be like a family having dinner. Now it's like you watch a commercial and they try to do the DEI thing and be politically correct. So you got like a gay couple in the background, 2 guys, and then a black guy with a white woman who had a baby. And they're all like they don't want to put them in a barbecue or a white person's dinner. So the jingle's got to fit that. And it's just weird. So they make it hard. Yeah, the parts caster. That's kind of like the Logan fucking Pokemon card. What a fucking scam. Yeah, the Medicare. That's always going to be a lucrative business. Medical. So if you're doing jingles for medical, or medical will be around. The 2 things that will survive a nuclear bomb: the medical commercials and the shill for pills and the cockroaches and Red Shield and Zach. Mama has a basement. You can come over here, Andy and Rhett. I'll take good care of you. Oh my God. I hear somebody. All right, everybody, let me take off. I hear her yelling at the kid. It was a pleasure, like always. Thank you so much. Today's Tuesday. We'll try for Friday at 2. Oh, no. Can I do Friday at 2? My kid's got a school function thing coming up. Go to his new school and hang out, and they show him around. That might be Friday. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be back. What Zach? His name is ZAKK Roberts 94. I think he's got 79 videos, and I think 70 of them are about me and how I'm a fraud and I'm a liar, and I've debunked all of them. All right, everybody. It's always a pleasure and an honor to talk with you people. And if you buy my hit the Rick Beato's fraud code and Rets a Shield for $9.99, and you still pay $9.99. All right, everybody, peace out. Oh man, let me write that down for him when he comes.